So it looks like Nintendo's about to die. Nintendo problems out the ass. But before we get to this video, here's the question of the day. Alright, so we got a few articles to get to today because basically there's a shitload of horrible things happening to Nintendo right now. And let's start it off with a big one. The founding family of Nintendo is planning to basically sell off its shares. It's worth over $1 billion. That's right. They're selling away their shares. They plan to basically get rid of their shares, and this is just and this is the article. Let's check out the article first. The family of longtime Nintendo executive Hiroshi Yamauchi, grandson of the founder, has informed the company that it plans to sell as many as 9.5 million shares tomorrow as part of a massive buyback worth an estimated $1.1 billion. Yamauchi died in September 2013. He was 85 years old. Now, the 9.5 million shares represents around 7.4% of outstanding stock, and will be purchased tomorrow in Japan at the stock's closing price of 12,025 yen today. And Yamauchi ran Nintendo for 53 years and gave his stake in the company to his 4 kids following his death. The family said in a statement that they have informed Nintendo of their desire to sell, but didn't say why. Didn't say why. I mean, I think it's pretty obvious, and this is just my speculation, but from what I could, if I could explain this, if I could kind of read between the lines, they don't, number one, they don't need it. I'm sure they got enough money. I mean, they are family of this fucking giant company, this empire of Nintendo, and then they have rights to it. You know, they own it, I guess, after his death. Like, they have ownership of the property. So, basically, I mean, they don't want anything to do with it. They want to fucking get rid of the shit, get rid of the shares, and it's like, it's a sinking ship, basically. That's what it feels like. You got the actual family of the founder that essentially wants to sell off Nintendo, or its shares, okay? And this is like, what do you call it, the death knell? You know what I mean? The beginning of Nintendo's demise as an actual company. This could be it. This might be the fucking final straw that completely eviscerates the camel's back of Nintendo. This dying horse. Oh my god. They want to sell this off. They want to get rid of it. They didn't say why. I don't think they have to explain it. It's like the Wii U is failing to sell. It's failing to come across as a, you know, a crossover system. It's failing to reach the mainstream audience, and nobody gives a fuck about the Wii U, aside from, you know, a few million Nintendo fanatics and diehards. It's just losing right now in the current gen wars, and they're just not selling. They're not making as much money as they expected to. So it's like, okay, let's just get rid of this shit. Let's just sell it off, you know? The announcement of the buyback comes after Nintendo announced dismal Wii U sales, and yeah, that's right. Their predictions. I covered this story. Their prediction of sales is very, very low, and I think it really seems like Nintendo is dying. You know, we're seeing this company completely just, it's withering away. It's fucking falling apart, and even the family of the founder is like, oh shit, we don't want anything to do with this fucking nonsense. Like, fuck this. Somebody else can have it. Buy it from us. Here you go. Like, get rid of it, you know, like, rid of this filth from their hands. You know, have somebody else own it, you know, just make some money off of it, and that's it. Forget it. Because, I mean, now you got all this other stuff, all these other articles about Nintendo, you know, they're talking about some other shit. Nintendo considering, you know, what is it? Merging or acquiring other companies to improve its business. President Satoru Iwata says, "I will not deny the possibility of completing mergers and acquisitions as a means to return to profitability." So essentially, I guess, oh my god, he's almost it sort of alludes to Nintendo's history especially back in the day, in the fucking 80s, the early 90s. Vicious company, you know. Nintendo was they were just hard asses. They were absolutely ruthless. They were sort of like Microsoft in their time, as kind of like this ruthless, very aggressive company that they didn't fuck around. You know, they protected their interests, they protected their properties, and they were so hell-bent on buying certain, you know, things that would be successful. You know, like the Tetris thing was really infamous, and the way that they hoard out that particular series, that fucking puzzle game. And, you know, the guy who created it just didn't get any money until many, many years later. Nintendo has to be innovative, too, and they gotta try different things. You know, there's so many problems with this fucking company, man. I've voiced about it so many times. You know, Iwata said Nintendo was prepared to consider many options with regards to licensing its stable of franchises, including Mario, Zelda, Donkey Kong, etc. Explained that these types of licensing deals do not negatively impact Nintendo's long-standing hardware-software business model, and also the company has no problem moving forward with such arrangements. Licensing it off? Oh shit, God, man, that's almost like saying, hey, third party. Nintendo might become a third-party support, you know, third-party fucking company. Gonna end up like Sega, maybe, you know, it's along those lines, you know what I mean? Like seeing Donkey Kong on the Xbox One, or, you know, Mario on the PlayStation console, or whatever, man, mobile. It's possible, but even beyond that, like merchandising, you know? I don't know. Things to download, like that little downloadables for the smartphones. And you're talking about how there's a possibility that Mario will appear in stamps or wallpapers for smartphones. Oh, God! Like, just completely whore out Mario. And then whatever other franchises do you have, Metroid, you know, everything, Zelda. Jesus. I mean, granted, they've done this before. They had cartoons and shit. They got shitty movies back in the day. They have all kinds of merchandise, toys, little figurines, promotion things. I'm sure they did stuff with, you know, McDonald's back in the day. I don't know. I just... Obviously, this, again, more signs of trouble. More signs of a fucking struggling company. Because if they have to consider doing this stuff, they're obviously, like, fucked for cash. You know, they're desperate to make some money out of these franchises. They talked about how, you know, Nintendo's free-to-play is hurting our hardware business. Or whatever, what free-to-play? Yeah, oh, okay, like free-to-play games and shit, like League of Legends or Dota 2 is hurting Nintendo's business, basically. Some shit like that, you know, trying to blame it on other shit, you know, trying to blame it on free-to-play games. My God! Take some fucking responsibility, you stupid fucking company. I'm sick of Nintendo making excuses. This is ridiculous. They're blaming the free-to-play games now. I mean, you don't see Sony doing that. You know, Microsoft doesn't do that. They don't go, oh my God, we're losing sales. Our fucking consoles is not selling well because of free-to-play and all these other titles. Granted, I know Microsoft has the PC shit too, but, you know, still. But Nintendo just isn't up on that. You know, when's the last time you saw, like, a PC game on a Nintendo console? It's not known for that shit. They're known for their own little fucking franchises. Their exclusives and shit. But they don't branch out, you know? You don't see, like, Diablo 3 on the Wii U. You know what I mean? They don't try things like that. You know, Jesus. Because they're behind. Everything affects them. Like, everything they did, you know, being a generation behind. Having a weaker system all the time. Since, well, I guess the Wii. You know, I mean, that really was the fucking... The Wii and the Game Boy Advance SP, you know, that generation with the handhelds. The DS was also another weaker generation, compared to the PSP. So, they have this mentality of, like, let's use old technology, not the current gen or the next gen or whatever, and just kind of make money off that somehow, use whatever gimmick, and now that their gimmicks isn't selling, it's not working anymore, nobody wants to buy this shit, nobody's falling for it. You know, people have smartened up. You got all the casual people that bought into the Wii are gone. They fucking fled. They don't give a crap about the Wii U. This is pathetic. Jesus. So, yeah, you know, the Wii really destroyed Nintendo's image. If you take a look at the sales of the Wii, the first couple of years it was out, you know, 2007, 2008, it was really hot. It was selling a lot. It was like a top seller. But then it fell off after that. After those couple of years, you could see this decline, this massive decrease in sales. The percentages of just kept decreasing. And they weren't selling as much anymore. And then you have the 360 and the PS3 that were just consistent. They were consistently selling. They kept selling. They maintained interest. The fans kept buying into it. You know, there was constant stream of revenue. But more importantly, their reputation were not hurt, really. They were they improved. It just maintained. But, you know, Nintendo with the Wii just fell off because the reputation got damaged. It got fucking hurt by the Wii. This fucking weaker system. And I'm not saying the Wii sucks. I'm sure it's got a couple of games. I've played them. But it's doesn't have the library that the 360 has or the PS3. Didn't have those fucking crossovers, the multi-plats. Didn't have stuff like, you know, Dead Space, Bioshock, God of War 3, Infamous, god damn, Metal Gear Solid 4. The actual Call of Duty games. I mean, you know, it had ports. You know, I know it had a Dead Space port, like a version of Dead Space, a version of COD. You know, certain games will come out for the Wii, but again, the Wii was just lacking. It was mostly casual bullshit. Oh, party games, mini games, you know, fucking motion sensor games. And then the occasional hardcore slash, like, actual gamers game. The occasional Mario Galaxies, the occasional Twilight Princess, or whatever else they had, you know? God damn. Nintendo, if they ever go out of business, and that's not out of the question, it could still happen, and if they do disappear, or they end up as just whatever, they stop making consoles, I mean, even that, they still, God, even that I don't think will happen, because, fuck, they're talking about how, like, they might have some mobile stuff in a new console? Yeah, it's like, they're talking about having a new console that might be like a mobile. There's another article. There's so many of these fucking articles right now. Nintendo's next console and mobile will be like brothers. The next platforms from Nintendo could feature a common development like iOS or Android. The next home system and portable devices from Nintendo might feature iOS or Android type of offerings, and that's pretty much all they mentioned. I mean, they have a bunch of other stuff in here, but they're basically using that as an example. They're looking towards that shit as some kind of basis. When is that gonna be? Because then you know, you got the Wii U now, and you got the 3DS, and they're fucking currently happening now. why they're talking about this stuff now? Because they're like failing. Well, not the 3DS, but the Wii U is like fucked right now. It's really sad, actually. Jesus. But if they're thinking about this now, then it's almost like their minds are way ahead to the next one, the next gen, and it's like, well, fuck this current gen, almost, that kind of mentality, like, well, this generation is done for them, it's like, the Wii U flop, so let's, start planning the next fucking system, that kind of thing. Damn. 2012 Wii U, it dropped HD, Nintendo system, but it just fucking failed, man. Because nobody cared. Nobody cares. The Wii U was basically this fucking HD Nintendo system, but it just didn't have the killer apps for the most part. It didn't have this massive library of crazy, unique games that were just so different. And it had this horrible reputation of just being a Nintendo console that had to follow the Wii, which started to, like, turn people off from Nintendo. Like, it really did. You got the fucking stupid name, Wii U. It sounds so fucking dumb. And I refuse to believe that, like, people didn't buy a Wii U because they thought it was just a new version of the Wii. Like, it's basically a Wii, but like a new model or something like that. People are smart enough to realize this was a brand new system. They just didn't want to fall for it. They were just like, well, fuck the Wii U. Give a fuck about the Wii U. We're gonna play Mario again, Zelda again, the same shit we've seen before, casual shit all over again, that you got the touchpad thing. It's like, well, I can't be excited for, Wii Sports, like another HD version of Wii Sports. Oh my god, killer app. I don't know, that's pretty much it, man. Nintendo's pissed me off so much. This company is, like, fucking dying. And it's really sad to see, but it's 2014. They gotta change their style. Their gaming is fucking so... They're stuck in, like, 1988. They're stuck. And here's the answer to the question of the day.